All right, thank you, Frank. The controversial new Anti-Terrorism Act, also known as Bill C-51, getting the green light in the House of Commons, where it easily passed third and final reading in a vote of 183 to 96. Both the Conservatives and those Liberals approved the act. Only the NDP voted against the bill that gives the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, CSIS, more power. Under C-51, CSIS can take steps to thwart suspected terrorist plots, not just gather information. So let's find out a little bit about the Liberals and their support of this bill as well. Liberal leader Justin Trudeau joins us right now. So your reaction, first of all, to Bill C-51.
First of all, it's a bill that isn't perfect, but that does have significant steps towards keeping Canadians safe. There are measures in there that will increase security for Canadians in the immediate. And what a government has to do is get that balance right between protecting Canadians and protecting our values and our charter rights. Now, even though this bill has elements that we worked hard to try and improve in committee and that we've committed to fixing if we form government, including proper oversight like all the other security partners we have in the Five Eyes, the UK, the US, it means that we have to do what we can to keep Canadians safe in the short term.
Oversight, though. And that's the main concern. Is CSIS going to be given carte blanche?
No, that's exactly right. And the fact that oversight is important is something that this Conservative government just hasn't understood. And it's important in two ways. I mean, they say... oversight is about making sure that the police is respecting people's rights and the security services are respecting people's rights while they go about their investigations. But it's also about holding them to account and making sure that they are doing what they need to do to keep us safe. And that's why we've committed to bringing in oversight and improving the bill in other ways if we form government.
Boy, we are really getting a chance to take the temperature of the electorate right now, not just here in Canada, but around the world. We had the election victory in Alberta just the other day. It sent the TSX into a turmoil. World markets right now reacting to the too close to call it British election, the fact it's most likely going to be a minority government there. What are you hearing from people out there? Are they tired of just the status quo? What is it?
There's a lot of cynicism. There's a lot of people who are sort of throwing up their hands and wanting something new, wanting something different, but mostly wanting something better. And they see politics these days as people shouting at each other and taking pot shots and playing on people's emotional strings and not necessarily putting forward responsible visions or plans for the futures. And what we saw in Alberta is nobody can take anyone for granted anymore, and people want responsible, real change. So that's why I'm proud to have put forward a plan for fairness this week that talks about giving people the help they need to succeed and to raise their kids. And those are the kinds of plans that make a big difference in people's lives.
In fact, that's what I wanted to talk to you about next, is the middle class, the so often forgotten middle class. You did put together a plan, and that's what you're sort of going around selling this week. Tell me a little bit more about it, and do you think it's going to fly?
Well, basically, what we've seen is, particularly over the past 10 years, the vast majority of Canadians are worried about the future. For the first time ever, we have a situation where the next generation might not succeed as well as the previous generation, and that's never before seen in Canada. People are faced with choices between paying for their kids' education or saving for their own retirement. And on top of that, we have a government that over the past 10 years has been terrible on growth and has been giving benefits and tax breaks to the wealthiest Canadians. So what we're doing is we're asking those who've done well to do a little more. And we're doing more for the people who need it by doing less for the people who don't. Which means, for example, a family making about $90,000 a year, 2 kids, is going to get a tax-free check of $490 every single month. And that's, about $2,500 a year more than the current plan. That does two things. It helps the family directly with the cost of raising their kids, but it also stimulates the economy, because when middle-class families have money in their pockets to save, to invest, to grow the economy, we all benefit.
And very, very quickly, I know you're going to be talking about the environment tomorrow. We had a shocking study released just in the last couple of days showing the greenhouse gas emissions have reached critical levels, that for the first time in millions of years, they have consistently tested at 400 parts per million worldwide. Again, first time in millions of years it has been this bad, and you are going to actually be speaking about this very topic tomorrow.
Well, we've had 10 years of a government that hasn't really worried itself about the environment, which hasn't done anything for the environment, has left Canada a real laggard, but it's also hurting our economy, because our trading partners, whether it's the United States or others, are starting to look at us as people who are obstructionists in terms of addressing this very real concern. So one of the things that I've talked about is working with the provinces, respecting what they've been doing, and making sure that there is truly national leadership on addressing climate change and environmental concerns.
All right. Pleasure talking.
Environmental concerns.
All right. Pleasure talking with you. Thank you very much for dropping by.
As always.
Appreciate it. Still ahead on Breakfast Television, it's a reality. Self-driving trucks are now legal in some parts of the States and could be in Canada within the decade. We'll take a look.